Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and compassionate.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Sidi Sheikh Muhammad Saeed al-Jamal Arafai, the guide of the peace and the mercy and the love to the way of Allah through the Sufi path, is the guide of the Shadoliya path, founded by Sheikh Ali Abdul Hassan al-Shadoli in North Africa in the 12th century.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
The Sheikh is a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, through his ancestor Sheikh Ahmed Arafai. He was born in Tul Karam in the Holy Land in 1935. The spiritual inheritor through the Shadoli line from his guide and master, Sheikh Abdur Rahman Abdur Rasa of Halab in the land of Syria, and is one who has kept Sufism alive and at work as an institution and a school of thought and spiritual knowledge.
حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح.
In 1997, he restored the 1,000-year-old Sufi council that served in the Holy Land. He is the head of this council in Jerusalem in the Holy Land and has been a teacher and central figure at the Masjid al-Aqsa, or the Dome of the Rock, which is linked for all Muslims to the Holy House in Mecca in the tradition of the night journey of the Prophet Muhammad. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, from the Kaaba in Mecca to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and from there to the heavens. He is well known to many people both in Palestine and in other countries in the world. Not only is he a teacher and counselor for all those who come to be at Al-Aqsa, but he is also its custodian. For through his hand and leadership in these times, this sacred precinct has been preserved in the face of many efforts to destroy it, as a place of prayer for the Muslim people who come from all over the world to visit the holy city of Jerusalem and to take the blessing of the praying in this mosque. The Sheikh has students and followers in the Holy Land as well as America and Europe. But it has only been since 1993 that the order came to his heart to travel to visit other countries. And at the same time, the order came from Allah for him to give teachings to all those in every part of the world who are sincerely seeking for the truth of their existence, the meaning of their life, and to heal their wounds. Up until then, the teaching had been reserved only for study in his Zawiya in Jerusalem. The teaching from his spirit is very deep, and for all those who have a heart and who listen with this heart, his teaching sheds an entirely new light on the reality of Sufism and the significance of carrying this message to everyone in this time. Sidi Sheikh Mohammed Al-Jamal Al-Rafai is a distinguished person of international stature. He began his career at a very young age as an uncompromising man of God who had no fear of anyone or anything but God, and because of this took a stand facing the Israeli and the Jordanian governments any time they tried to overlook God in their actions or disrespected people's right to worship God. Being a judge of the courts, he was a government employee at the same time that he gave weekly sermons in Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. He has been the spiritual counselor to the people of the Holy Land and to all those who have visited over the past 40 years and has given his life as a sacrifice to this work. He makes monthly journeys all over the Holy Land to help the poor and to make sure that everyone has food and clothing. There are always lines of poor people at his home and at his office because they know that they can find real help from him. When the government imposed regulations limiting access to some of the holy places of the Muslims and Christians who lived in the West Bank, Sidi Sheikh Mohammed, with the high Roman priests, led a demonstration through the holy city of Jerusalem, protesting the attack on the people of God and calling for peace in the land of peace. The government, not seeing this point, placed the high priest and the sheikh under arrest and put them in jail. This was only one of many occasions where he was imprisoned for shouting out to stop the fighting and to say yes to the peace. In 1994, he made his first visit to America, and he has continued to be invited here each year to give seminars and teachings at schools and centers across the United States. Sidi Sheikh Mohammed was invited to speak at a recent International Islamic Unity Conference in Washington, D.C.
Court in Palestine and leaders of the teachers in Masjid al-Aqsa.
And he sends his voice and heart for all the world to know that Jerusalem is a holy city and that this holy city is the heart of all the world. After his speech, which was an eloquent and touching plea for peace, love, and mercy for all suffering people, a poem about Jerusalem was read. This poem, written by Sidi, expresses the deep wisdom and powerful teachings that he shares with all who have their hearts open to truth. The Song of Jerusalem. I am the child from Jerusalem who sends the voice of this holy city for all who love God. One night she sent me her order to speak with her tongue to all who love her, for she is the bride who carries the essence of the secret love for her. My beloveds, listen to the song of her flute as she says, "This is my voice which is ancient from the beginning of time. I am the spirit and I am the heart that contains the blood of all the prophets. My story," she says, "is from when God created me." The poem goes on to ask for all those who live in this world to stand up and to help stop the fighting and destruction of this holy city, to help stop all fighting and war everywhere. For without peace in Jerusalem, the heart of our universe, we cannot have peace in our own hearts. Stand up, O people of the one God, to bring about her release. The Sheikh is not a teacher for a few following a spiritual path, but opens his heart to help everyone from any country or nationality, and he has helped people from all over the world. He is a leader who helps to keep the peace no matter what the cost, and he has served humanity without prejudice. Sidi Sheikh Mohammed Al-Jamal Al-Rafai is affectionately and respectfully known the world over as Sidi Muhammad, or quite simply Sidi.
I promise God. You promise to be one.
Islamic practice is based on 5 pillars, which are as follows. Declaring the Shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, which means there is no God but one God and Muhammad is his prophet.
To listen for the voice of my Father.
Then there is the ritual of the 5 daily prayers. Muslims observe Ramadan, which is a very holy month. From dawn to sunset, fasting is observed, and all appetites are surrendered to God. There is zakat, which is the tithing of a defined percentage of our worldly assets, which is distributed to the poor, and we learn to give without asking why or what. And the final pillar is to make the Hajj, which is a pilgrimage to Mecca, Islam's holiest shrine.
Say something about how to carry the Sufi way in the business world and still hold it in your heart and be in the business world.
The teachings of the food, the necessary sustenance for this holy journey, without which we cannot travel, without which we become like a person in the desert without water, always searching for the water, for the truth.
Sufism carries the human high qualities. We say the Sufi needs to be honest, sincere, truthful, and a lover, and merciful, and to somebody who walks straight. How do we manifest these qualities? When in your interaction with people, you have to be aware of Allah in every transaction you have with anyone. And so you show your honesty to Allah through being honest with the person and in the work that you do, and so on with the different qualities. To be straight with Allah by being straight with others. Because the Sufi is always aware that he is not dealing with creation per se, he is not dealing with the material form, but for him creation and every aspect of creation is a means of transacting with Allah. And that is why he loves goodness for people. Because he knows that all of these people are the children of Allah. And so he always gives them the love and gives them the mercy. So these are the qualities of the Sufis, and this is the message of Sufism. If he sells, he's honest. If he sells, he's honest, and if he buys, he is honest. And he is also very active and very he is like busy, like a bee.
When someone is ready to accept Sidi as their guide, he allows them the opportunity to make a promise to Allah which will set the intention for their walking on the path. This is called the bayat. Sidi takes the hand of the student in his hand, signifying a commitment to guide and to be guided. This echoes the verse in the Quran where Allah tells the Prophet that those who take the pledge with him are in reality taking their pledge with Allah. It is said by the Sufis that there is no arrival except at the hands of a guide. The real light of Allah is so powerful that it can only be contained by the prophets and the guides that follow in their footsteps. When we take the promise to God to follow Him and to obey His orders, we take the key which helps us to return to our real life, which He created for us from the beginning.
I promise God
to be one from His church.
I promise God to give everything for Him, to carry His message.
The message of unity.
Peace and love and mercy.
Message of the peace and love and mercy.
I promise God
to be one from His children.
to be one from His children. To walk your way.
Sufi way.
To be honest.
To be sincere.
To be sincere.
And to carry His message.
The message of unity.
The message of unity.
I promise you
To carry your message.
to carry your message.
Message of peace and love and mercy.
To give everything for Him.
And to listen for His voice.
To listen for His voice.
Amen. Amen.
But allowing yourself to really write the name across your heart. Take the name.
Zikr is the remembrance of God. This is one of the mainstays of Sufi practice. Individually or collectively, one remembers God through repeating the names of Allah in different forms. When done with the blessing of the guide, it assists in the removal of the veils that are between us and the attaining of divine knowledge. The veils serve to protect the uninitiated from the piercing effects of the powerful light of Allah. And strengthened by remembrance, one can absorb this light with a fuller understanding. Allah says, "Remember me, and I will remember you." The zikr is the source of all life and contains all of existence within its breath.
I promise God to carry His message.
One of the deep blessings for the couples on this path is the ability to be able to have Sidi bless their union and to unite them in surrender to Allah. In the holy marriage, the couples take Sidi's hand together in theirs, and they promise to walk together on the path and to give the love and the peace and the mercy to each other. The holy marriage opens the door to allowing the beloveds to unite and become one until there is only Allah.
In the name of my beloved God, in the name of Allah, in the name of all the holy people, I ask you, my beloved Lord, promise my Father.
I promise my Father.
I promise you
To be real beloved for you.
to be a real beloved for you.
I promise you
To be real beloved for you.
to be a real beloved for you.
And to trust Him.
And to surrender complete for Him.
And to surrender completely to Him.
My heart, my spirit, always, all my life.
Always, all my life.
I promise my Father
To give Him my body,
to give Him my body,
my heart, my spirit.
my spirit,
And to live only for Him all my life.
and to live only for Him. I promise all the holy people.
I promise my beloved Said
I promise my beloved Sayyid
to be real beloved for Him.
to be a real beloved for Him.
Amen. Amen.
Now we're going to invite you to experience Sidi as he shares the truth of a Sufi in intimate settings with his beloveds. He travels from place to place, always staying in someone's home, and in the tradition of the Prophet, may peace be upon him, he always sits on the floor as he shares his heart and his teachings.
Yes.
Sidi, would you talk to the beloveds about the term Assalamu alaikum? Explain.
ما معنى السلام عليكم؟
السلام هو صفة من صفات الله.
Salam, peace, is one of the attributes
من
of
الصفات
Allah.
99.
One of the 99 attributes.
فالسلام الذي ألقاه الله وأطلقه على لسان نبيه ليعلن للوجود أنه رسول السلام.
This peace was given by Allah to His prophets to transmit to all the created worlds, be they be human, animal, or solid, or plant, seen or unseen.
ولذلك يقول أنه لا يمكن أن يكون معنى للحياة إلا إذا هيمن السلام على الأبدان والنفوس والقلوب والأرواح.
To emphasize the point that life is not possible unless peace is prevailing in the world of bodies, hearts, and spirits.
عندها فهو مفتاح كل خير فالسلام هو مفتاح كل خير.
The state of peace is
ومفتاح كل علم.
the key or the entryway into all goodness and is the key to all further knowledges.
إذا لم تكن مطمئنا
If you do not have peace,
وتعيش في سلام
if you are not in peace,
لا تستطيع أن تتكلم
you cannot talk.
ولا يمكن أن تعمل وأنت
If
خائف.
you are not in peace, you cannot work.
ولا يمكن أن تنام وأنت خائف.
You cannot sleep if you do not have
ولا
peace.
يمكن أن يزاول عمل في الوجود والخوف يهيمن على قلوبهم.
Nothing can be done by anyone if they are in a state of fear.
ولذلك الله عندما قال وتحيتهم فيها
When
سلام.
Allah says, and they're greeting to each other in it
إذا أراد
is
الناس
peace.
أن يتعايشوا بسعادة
If people wish to coexist in peace and love and mercy,
لا بد إلا أن ينشروا السلام
they need to emanate peace amongst themselves.
متساوين.
They need to be on
لأن
an
السلام
equal
هو
footing
حديقة
with each other.
واسعة جدا
Peace is a very
مليئة
expansive
بالأنوار
garden
والاطمئنان
full of the flowers,
وهي
full
سر
of
سر من
security,
أسرار حقيقة الوجود
and peace is
التي
one
يجب
of the secrets of the reality of
الناس.
existence which people
ومعنى
need
ذلك
to
الله
be able to
قد
live
تجلى
coexist,
باسمه السلام
and it
على
means
جميع مخلوقاته.
and it means that Allah manifests this quality
ولولا تجلي هذا
of
الاسم
peace.
لما استطعت أن تسير بالشارع
If
ولا
Allah
تستطيع أن
had not
تنام
manifested
ولا
His
تستطيع
name,
أن
the
تفكر
peace, you would
ولا
not be
تستطيع
able
أن تزاول
to
عملك
think or to work or
رغم
to walk
ألوف
or to sleep.
الذين يقفون أمام السلام.
And even though there are many working towards
وهي
turmoil
بشرى
and violence, yet
من الله
the name,
أنه لا
the peace of
مجال
Allah
في هذا الوجود
dominates.
إلا للسلام
And this is the good
ولأهل
news
السلام.
that eventually peace will come to dominate people's lives.
ولذلك دائما أصلي بقولي
And therefore I always pray
اللهم أنت
by saying,
السلام
Oh Allah, you are the
ومنك
salam, the
السلام
peace. Peace
وإليك
comes from
يعود
you,
السلام
peace returns to you.
فحينا
So give us life
بالتحية والسلام
and greet us
يا ذا
with
الجلال
peace,
والإكرام
O one of majesty
لكل بني
and generosity,
الإنسان
and do this for all,
وحقق لنا سلامة الأبدان
and give us peace in our bodies, peace in our religion.
آمين آمين.
So that's that. Because you were saying he was like he was going to go and offer somebody else.
In the Sufi tradition, in order to help yourself, you must first give to others. Many of Sidi students are asked to make an offering so that a sheep may be sacrificed to feed the poor. And just like Abraham, the father of all the prophets, who was asked to sacrifice his beloved son, you too are asked to make a sacrifice. This sacrifice, like that in the Bible, is considered one of the most holy and sacred ways of giving yourself to God. Abraham's son was spared his death, and a sheep was exchanged for him. And so you too are asked to offer a sheep for yourself. Because many students seek to understand the deep meaning of this ritual, as Sidi travels from city to city, he is often asked to explain the inner meaning behind this practice.
He had seen that he believed in his father receiving a true revelation from Allah, and this was his way of totally surrendering to that, willingly and happily, which he did.
وعندما جاء إبراهيم ليذبح ولده نظرا لصدق امتثال إبراهيم لأمر ربه، مع أنه ولده الوحيد كما ذكرت، وامتثال الولد لما أمره الله عز وجل من خلال والده إبراهيم. ماذا كانت النتيجة؟ النتيجة عندما سلم ووضع السكين انقلبت السكين إلى ما لا تفعل، ومن هذه اللحظة أعطى الحياة له ولكل الأطفال من بعده.
And so as a result, because both Abraham was totally surrendered to do this act, which was like a horrific, his only child that he has prayed for, but he had complete surrender, complete trust in Allah to go by his dream. And also because Ismail had done the same, both in total surrender. When he put the knife on his neck, the knife actually melted. It went into water. There was nothing. Because the point was not about bodily sacrifice. The point was about being always ready. 3 times he tried to cut the neck, and 3 times the knife turns into water.
العبرة الحكمة يعني الدقيقة أنه الامتثال الكامل لأمر الله.
And so what this story teaches is beyond the pictures of what was happening, is that in whatever situation are you following the guidance that you're getting in that moment without thinking where it's going to take you.
عندها أنزل الله بيدي أنزل مع جبريل يعني خروف كبير، وقال له هذه أضحية عن ولدك بل وعن كل الأطفال في الأرض من بعدك.
And so also at that time when the surrender was complete on both sides, Allah manifested the Archangel Gabriel, who brought down a ram. And he told Ibrahim, the bodily sacrifice of your son is no longer necessary. You have surrendered. This sacrifice will do, and this sacrifice is for your son, and it is also for all the children who come after that.
هو أعطى الحياة للآخرين.
And so the sacrifice gets turned around, and instead of it being an occasion for killing, is actually an occasion for giving life.
ومن هنا أبناء إبراهيم سواء كانوا مسلمين أو يهود، أبناء إسحاق وأبناء إسماعيل يهرعون ويمتثلون ويفعلون ما فعل أبيهم إبراهيم.
And so all the sons of Abraham, whether they be Muslims or Jewish, they follow in this tradition of sacrificing to give life to the others.
وهذا طريق حق.
And this is the way of the truth.
وليفيد الآخرين. ليس المعنى عندما نطعمهم من اللحم معنى أن نريد أن نشبع أمعدتهم من هذا اللحم حتى يرتقي بها إلى حياة أسمى وأعلى، ويدفع عنه البلاء والمرض والعذاب.
Also, let's not get caught up in thinking that when we do a sacrifice of a sheep, and we feed the poor. Let's not get caught up in the material pictures and thinking we're just giving some food to a stomach. The reality of this is that through this we are actually giving life, and for these people it's a spiritual food more than just the meat that's being given to their stomachs.
وهذا يعطي قوة كبيرة جدا للسير في الطريق الروحي إلى الله. والإسراء والصعود وإعطاء القوة والتمكين من خلال هذه الأضحية، التمكين في يعني شفاء الإنسان في عالم الروح وعالم الجسد.
اللي بيقدمه ولا اللي بياكله؟
اللي بياكله.
And so the food that is being fed is a very spiritual food that gives strength and sustenance for the people who eat it, to walk on this path. And this feeding is given to both those who eat the meat and to the person who provides that sacrifice for the others. It feeds him too.
فإن كان الذي قدمه مريضا.
So if the person who offers a sacrifice is sick,
قطعا فإنه سيكون دواء قاطعا لدفع هذا المرض عنه روحيا حتى وجسديا.
The person who is sick and who offers the sacrifice to the other needy people, he too benefits from this in a spiritual way and in a physical way.
لأنه بمثابة صلاة.
Because this sacrifice is a form of prayer. In fact, it's a very high form of prayer.
هذا هو المعنى العميق من sacrifice.
This is the deep meaning for a sacrifice.
وهناك معاني كثيرة.
There are many meanings.
لا يمكن أن تظفريها إلا إذا سرت في الطريق.
Which you cannot encompass until you walk this way, and then
يجب عليك أن تقدمي نفسك قربانا.
Because eventually when you walk this path, you have to offer yourself as a sacrifice
حتى يأخذك بين ذراعيه.
Until Allah will embrace you between His two arms, but you eventually will be the sacrifice.
وهناك معاني لا أستطيع أن أقولها إلا بعد أن
I cannot talk about
تتذوقيها أنت.
Until you have a chance to taste them directly for yourself.
Difference between talking and tasting.
To Florida to be with her.
As Sidi teaches us the Sufi way, he shares with us how the real Islam especially honors women, and how one of the deepest and most powerful prayers is to revere and care for our mothers.
Someone to be next to her, to help her. And if you are concerned about doing the right thing to your mother in the way that Allah has commanded us to, because Allah says, and your Lord has ordered that you do not worship anyone other than Him, but to show the utmost excellence towards your parents.
هذه أيام عظيمة يعني يجب أن فرصة جميلة عظيمة جدا لا تضيعيها.
This is actually a great opportunity that you should not miss, to be able to serve your mother in these days.
بسداد جزء بسيط جدا مما عملته من أجلك.
And know that all this, whatever you do, it does not go to repay except a very small percentage of what she has already offered you as a mother when you were a child. It is reported from the Prophet that a man came to the Prophet. He said, "Who should I be most concerned with?" He said, "Your mother." And he said, "Who after my mother?" He said, "Your mother." And then he said, "Who after that?" He said, "Your mother." Then he said, "Who after that?" Then he said, "Your father." The station of the mother is a very great one. And one of them asked him, "O Messenger of Allah, if I were to carry my mother on my shoulders,
وذهبت بها إلى الحج.
And I took her to Mecca
مشيت فيها مشيا.
on my back,
يعني
walking.
عبارة عن مسافة تقريبا 5 أو 3 أو 4 آلاف ميل.
Like 3,000-4,000 miles. If I walked my mother on my
وطفت
back,
بها وهي على كتفي.
and I did the circumambulation around the Kaaba
وسعيت بها.
on my back, and I did all the rites for her.
وقضيت مناسك الحج وهي على ذلك.
If I allowed her to perform all the rites on my back, and I fed her with my hands,
وقمت بكل ما تحتاج.
and I performed everything that she needed for her.
أفأكون قد جزيتها بما فعلته من أجل.
Would I then have repaid her for what she offered me?
قال له الحبيب الأعظم إنك بكل ما قدمته
The Prophet said,
لا يعادل طلقة يوم مخاضها.
He said, all of this that you mentioned is not worth one of the pains that she had when she was in labor.
ولذلك الأمر ليس هينا.
So it is not a small thing.
الأم أنا استغربت عندما سمعت بالأمس أن عيدا إنهم خصصوا في هذه
I was surprised to learn yesterday that in this country that they have specified one day and gave it the name of Mother's Day.
ما هذه المسخرة؟
What is this? This is a mockery. To have only one day for
كل
the
السنوات كل العمر يجب أن يكون لها عيد.
All the days and all the years should be a celebration for mother
من قبل الأبناء
from
والبنات.
her children.
يعني نحن لا يجب أن لا تعرف الأمهات إلا يوم في طول الحياة تكونوا غائبين. في هذا اليوم تمسك التلفون تقول هلو كيف حالك يا أمي. هذا لا.
It is not right that people should forget their mothers all year and then just on Mother's Day pick up the phone and say, hi mom, how are you doing?
هذا غير صحيح.
This is not right.
ليس برا.
This is not the...
البر أن تحفظها وأن ترعاها وأن تعطيها الحب وأن
give her the
تعطيها
love
الرحمة.
continually, give her the mercy continuously,
بما لا يخالف الله.
as long as it does not go against any of the teachings of Allah.
يعني شيء عظيم أن تذهبي إلى أمك وتقومي بخدمتها.
You should
فهي صلاة
be something great if you went to your mother and served her now. This is a great prayer. And the quality of the spirits.
The Sheikh is a master healer, and many people come to him with questions about themselves and about others. Listen as Sidi teaches us about the essence of the sacred art of healing.
والبدن هو عبارة عن الغطاء.
And the
وعاء منتفخ فيه الروح والقلب.
is simply an inflated body that contains within it the heart and the spirits.
وكيف يتحرك البدن إن لم يكن فيه قلب وروح؟
How can the body move if it did not have heart and soul within it?
ومن الذي يتبع؟ هل الروح تتبع القلب؟
What follows
تتبع
what?
البدن أم البدن هو الذي يتبع الروح؟
Does the spirits follow the body or does the body follow the spirits?
رأيت أنه عندما تنتهي وترحل من البدن الروح أين يذهب البدن؟
Do you not see that when the spirit leaves the body, what happens to the body?
لذلك يجب أن يكون متحدين.
And so
عالمهم عالم وحدة.
And so the spirit and body need to be united in one life.
ولهذا كانت طريقنا هي طريق التوحيد.
And this is why our path is the path of unity, because we unite everything into one.
من هنا كانت مبنية على المحبة والرحمة.
And that's why we practice mercy
والسلام
and peace.
منطلقة من المعرفة الحقيقية للماهيات التي أنا ذكرتها.
Because this is based on a true knowledge and a direct knowledge of these different aspects that the human contains. The spirit.
هذه هي الهيلينج الحقيقية.
This is true.
التي يجب أن تدرس.
That really needs to be studied.
وأنا أخبرت إبراهيم وقلت يجب أن يكون هذا هو التدريس الحقيقي حتى يكون في نفع حقيقي. وأن الهيلينج يعني الذي يقوم بها أبنائي يختلف كليا عن أي healing يقوم بها الآخرين.
The healing that my beloveds give is different from any healing.
يعني عندما يسيرون على ما أنا قلت.
My beloveds, when they follow what I say, when they follow the way I show them, their healing is totally different.
Different than any healing. Because this is the healing of Allah. Through His order. You came to be completely, your hand shall not move without His order. Through your hand, Allah He move your hand. When you talk, He speak, not your tongue speak, but Allah He speak, but through your tongue. When you put your hand, you put the hand of Allah. Allah He put, but through your hand. When you give, the giver Allah. Not you are, but through you Allah He give. For that you like to give completely and to not stop with any pictures or any illusion, but to go deeper. Then you will not see front of you when you make the healing with person. You will not see person, but you give first. In that moment, you give the healing for yourself. From yourself to yourself, through this holy person. He came to be holy. He not need more than in one moment. Then he. This is the difference.
What about there's I see a lot of kind of hate word in the world.
Another popular question is about how to deal with our emotions, especially those that create challenges for us.
نحن الناس ابتعدوا كثيرا عن تعاليم السماء.
People have gone very far away, very far astray from the teachings of the heaven.
ولما ابتعدوا بدأوا يعودون كثيرا حتى أصبحوا لا يهمهم إلا أن يكونوا في عالم الخلقية.
They have gone so far astray from the teachings of divinity that they have been and are completely stuck with the world of creation.
لا يهمهم إلا جمع أموال.
All they care about is amassing money, eating, drinking, sleeping.
تماما سبقوا الدواب فيما هم يعملون. فهم يقتلون بعضهم البعض.
They kill each other.
ويهدمون بيوت بعضهم.
They destroy each other's homes.
ولا يمنحون لغيرهم إلا ما يريدون.
And they stop other people from getting what they want because they want it all for themselves.
هؤلاء ماذا يفعلون؟
Why do they do this?
لأنهم تركوا تعاليم الله.
Because they have abandoned the teachings that came
تعاليم
from God.
الله تقول
The teachings of God say, O people,
إنا خلقناكم من ذكر
we have
وأنثى
created you as male and female,
وجعلناكم شعوبا
and we have made you into different peoples and tribes so that you may know each other.
الله أتقاكم.
The best of you amongst of you are those who are aware of Allah.
والخلق كلهم عيال الله.
And Allah also says all of creation are the children of God, and the most beloved to God are those who are most useful,
ليس
most
أولئك الذين يجمعون.
generous to the children of God.
ليس أولئك الذين يهدمون البيوت ويقتلون
The
الأطفال.
children of God are not those who destroy others, kill each others, and destroy property.
هؤلاء اتبعوا شيطانهم
Those people
وأنفسهم
follow their devil, the insinuations of their own devil,
وتوقفوا مع بشريتهم.
and they have stopped with the
ولذلك
illusion that they're just creatures.
لا بد من معالجة الأمر.
And so the healing for this is,
كما ذكرت
as I mentioned earlier,
الناس بحاجة إلى محبة
people need the love,
وإلى سلام
and
وإلى
people need the
رحمة.
peace, and people need the mercy.
ذلك من خلال تربية إرسال أصواتنا صوتا عاليا.
The way we do this is to
الذين نحب الله.
carry out aloud the voice of our teachings, to show people the way of having true gnosis of
يجب
God.
علينا أن نرفع أصواتنا عاليا.
We need to carry our voices far away and loud
الذين ابتعدوا كثيرا عن
to all of the people who have gone astray and are lost.
فنحن نقول لا للحروب.
We say no to wars,
لا للقتل.
no
لا
to killing,
للتدمير.
no to destruction,
لا لحرق البيوت.
no to burning of homes,
لا لأي شيء. لا لتحطيم الإنسانية.
no to the destruction of humanity,
ولكن نعم
but
للمحبة
yes to love,
والسلام
peace,
والرحمة
mercy,
والعدالة
justice,
ولتحطيم آلات الحروب وتحويلها
and to take away the
إلى ما
resources
فيه خير
away from
البشرية.
building weapons of destruction, and instead to put that into things that are beneficial to
هذا
humanity.
الذي نريد.
This is what we want.
ويجب أن ترتفع صوتي مع صوتك مع
When I raise
الآخرين.
my voice with your voice and with
ترتفع مئات
others,
الأصوات بل آلاف
when we have
بل
hundreds of
ملايين
voices
الأصوات.
calling for this, millions of voices calling this for this,
يجب أن لا
this will
تصرف
have
الأموال
its effects.
لصنع التدمير وإنما للخير.
We need to put our resources to what is useful for humanity,
وللفقراء
for those who
والناس المحتاجين.
are in need of basics,
وذلك بزرع شجرة المحبة في كل قلب.
and we do this through planting the seed of love in every heart that we encounter.
وهذه الحبة حبة المحبة تنبت شجرة.
This seed of love will eventually grow into a tree of love, and this tree will eventually give the fruits of its own tree.
دون ما تمييز.
This tree of love gives its fruits to everyone without
لأن
discrimination
الإنسان هو
of
أخو
color
الإنسان
or religion,
والإنسان.
because every human
سواء
is the brother and sister of every other human being.
ودون تمييز
Whether they like it or not, that is a
بين
fact of life.
هذه وهذا.
There is no discrimination.
هذا هو طريق التصوف.
This is the Sufi way that I came here
وحمله الأنبياء من
to
قبلنا.
talk about, which we carry and the prophets before us have
إلى
carried,
حقيقة إنسانيتهم.
which is to give the knowledge to every human being of their own reality.
قلوبهم الظلم والظلام.
And we are here to
ولا
remove
يجعلوا
the
هيمنة
veils of darkness from the hearts of people, and not to allow
أن
this
تدخل
darkness
قلوبهم.
to overpower the hearts of the human beings.
ولا أقول أن يتركوا أعمالهم.
I do not say leave your work and leave your businesses,
لا، ولكن يجب عليك أن تجعل عملك نظيفا.
but you need to make your occupation a clean one.
ليس يعني أن لا يكون العمل ليس من سرقة أموال الناس.
Meaning that what you
ولا أن
engage
تصدم
in does not harm other people and does not take away from other people.
أنك إنسان ضعيف أتيت أصلا من نقطة ما.
Remember, you are in
وأنك
reality
تخرج أيضا عندما
very
ولدتك
weak in the
أمك
process of
من
life.
مكان تخرج منه القاذورة.
You have come from a sperm,
ثم بعد ذلك تنطلق.
and then you will eventually leave this earth.
I am sure, excuse me, I am sure when your mom, she gave you birth, you began to cry. From when you come to this world, you cry. Everyone he cry. And you go. After that, and all the people around you, everyone is very happy because you come. But when you go pass away, you are very silent. And all the people around you, everyone he cry because you leave this world. You see a person, all of the people now, this life like a break. And everybody he hope in this break. But told me, You see any person after when he crosses the bridge, he carries the bridge between his shoulders? No. This is very short life. Important for you to know why God He created you. المهم أن يعرف نفسه.
To know yourself. It's important that
أنت
each
تحمل
one,
السر الإلهي.
because you carry within you the divine secrets.
نعم. إن في الجسد قلبا.
In the body there is a heart.
وإن في القلب فؤادا.
And in the heart there is a very subtle heart.
وإن في الفؤاد خفيا.
And in the subtle heart there is something that is hidden.
وإن في الخفي أخفى.
And what is hidden there is something more hidden.
وإن في الأخفى سرا.
And in what is more hidden there is secrets.
وإن في السر أنا
And
فعل.
in the secrets
لا إله إلا
I
فأعبدني
reside.
وأقم الصلاة لذكري.
In the secret I reside. So know that there is no God except God. And establish the prayer in my
أنت
remembrance.
عبارة عن وعاء.
You are a container,
ليس غير.
no more than a container,
ولكنك مقدس.
but you are a holy container.
وكل ما في الوجود مقدس.
And everything that is in existence is sacred.
لا تجعلوا هؤلاء الناس الأشقياء ينجسون ويلقون على الإنسانية كل النجاسات والعذاب.
Do not let the wretched people defile all of this holy creation.
يجب أن ينكشف الغطاء عن قلبك.
You have to remove the cover of your heart to see what is inside your
وهذا
heart.
القلب الذي هو ما وسعني أرضي ولا
And know that your heart is
وسعني
what Allah refers to as my heavens and my earths do not contain me, but I am only contained by the heart of my believing servants.
هذا هو أنت.
This is who you are.
For all those who are aware that the suffering and sickness in this world is not of a material nature, but of a spiritual nature, the medicine, as Sidi indicates in his teaching, lies in the purification of the heart and the removing of the veils, so that we may come to an understanding of why God created us and brought us into this world. This is the path of all the prophets and messengers, and the way of the return to our real life in the world of the unity. This is the knowledge of the Sufi path and the science of tasawwuf. This is the most important thing in life, the greatest thing in knowledge, and the science of the light of God. This knowledge illumines its knowers like the sun illumines the earth. The guide who shows you the way is your brother. As Sidi says, how can you reach God if you do not follow the person who has reached God? He has walked the way before you and has reached the highest station. He knows how to walk and how to cut off difficulties and all troubles. He knows the good and the bad and the right and the wrong of this world. It is necessary for you to search for the guide, and when you find him, to follow him. God says, "Be my reflection in everything that you do. I have given you myself, and you can see me in every human being. Give anyone love and mercy, if that is what he wants, and know that you are giving it to me." And as Sidi teaches, when you find the love, you find yourself. The secret of God is in the love. So live to love and know God. And if you want to go beyond all that you have been to find the secret of God, then I am your brother, to take your hand and guide you from the darkness to the light and to the garden. Amen.
Ya